Hey guys, it's me again, and welcome to This Is My Moment podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Mitchell. And here at This Is My Moment, we love smiling, we love meeting new people, and we love talking. Oh yeah, it's season 2, baby. Yeah, let's go to work.
There ain't no stopping it, this is my moment. Join the movement, we bringing people together, bringing positivity, making changes for the better. Cause it's all about
Today, I got a cat on the other end of the line, man, that has a story that I think needs to be told. He talks about resilience. He talks about mindset, man. It's something to be said. So you keep your ears open. See what he got to say. Introduce yourself to the family.
Hello, family. My name is Bob Thompson. I am a real estate agent in Virginia, and I'm happy to be here.
Too easy. Pleasure to have you. How's the market up there?
The market is good. I am in essentially Hampton Roads, Virginia, which is like Norfolk, Virginia Beach, stuff like that.
Yeah.
We have a lot of military folks coming and going all the time, so we stay consistent. I got no major issues whatsoever. Things are good here.
Yes, sir. So I'm researching you, right? And I saw 2018, something happened. Talk to me about what happened in 2018.
I had heart attack number 1.
Yeah.
And October of 2018, I had heart attack number 2. And at that point, they decided to do the quadruple bypass on me at 46 years of age.
Brother, what? That's 2 heart attacks in a span of 3 or 4 months?
In a span of 3 or 4 months, yes.
What was going through your mind, man?
Honestly, the first one, I didn't believe it. I felt like I was healthy. Yeah. I'm 46, so it's not even on my mind. And so I get to the doctor. What was going on is I was driving home and my left arm was in pain and was numb at the same time. Yeah. And after about an hour, my girlfriend's like, "You've got to go to the doctor. Something's going on." And we're men, so I was like, "Fine, I'll go ahead and do this." And again, I figured at worst case, I had some high blood pressure or whatever, Yeah. So I get in there and they check my pressure, and like 4 doctors just almost like they attack me. Like they rip my shirt off. They're handing me baby aspirin and nitrous and the nitrite and all that stuff. Yeah. And the guy looks at me. He was like, "Mr. Thompson, you're having a heart attack." I'm like, and then a couple minutes later, I'm like, "Am I seriously having a heart attack?"
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like, it was a heart attack. It wasn't the traditional Fred Sanford, "Oh Lord, this is the big one," that you see on TV. Yeah. I just wasn't feeling it. So at that point, they gave me my meds and they put me on the night flight and actually had to take the helicopter from Suffolk, Virginia to Norfolk, Virginia, because apparently it was that big of a deal.
Wow.
Yeah. And it just didn't feel like it was in the moment. And at that point, I threw my girlfriend my cell phone, and remember that day was the first time she had ever met my father.
Yeah.
And his wife. So I threw her the phone. I was like, "Here's the code to get into the phone. Call my dad, tell him I'm having a heart attack, and I'll see you in Norfolk." And that was,
Wow.
I got yelled at by all my friends because I didn't bother to tell anybody for like 2 or 3 days what was going on, because I just didn't want to bother anybody with it. And again, It didn't register that it was that big of a deal. And then they were like, "Well, we're putting the stents in and we're doing all of that." And it kind of snowballed from there.
And was this heart attack number 1 or heart attack number 2?
Number 1.
Ooh, brother. So earlier that day, you were just going on about your business, and that's the same day that your girlfriend met your father, right?
Yeah. We were at my dad's in outside of Hopewell, Virginia. Just typical Sunday. It was to finally for her to. We had been dating long enough. It was time for her to go ahead and meet the family, as it were.
Next step. So on the way back, all of a sudden, brother, that's bookends on the day, brother.
Yes, it is.
Like that went literally from being amazing, fun, loving, adventurous to adventurous and overwhelming, all in a matter of a couple hours, man. So that's day 1, heart attack 1. Follow me 3 months in the future, man, 4 months in the future, heart attack number 2. What happened?
We were at my birthday dinner. It was literally the day of my birthday is October 13th. We were at a local restaurant and bar with some friends of mine celebrating my birthday.
Yeah.
And I felt fine all night. And I got home and started to feel bad. And I felt like, I guess the way I should have described it as I felt like I was drowning, but I didn't really express it in that way. And apparently that's how people feel a lot of times when they are having a heart attack. So my girlfriend was listening to me, but I didn't do a good job of explaining it. So we stayed where we were. I stayed at my house for the night. The next morning I went to the doctor and same thing. He was like, yeah, you had a heart attack sometime over the course of the night. And
wow.
And from there, you're going to have to, we're not going to do the stents again. We're going to go ahead and recommend you for a quadruple bypass.
Where was your mind at, man, when they said quadruple bypass? You 46 years old, brother.
At that point, I mean, I understood what was going on. And I kind of got my mindset around, okay, well, this has happened. This is real. And I kind of at that point was like ready for the next step. It's like, let's go ahead and get this done and get to rehab because I had been on blood thinners anyway. So I had to wait for that to come off of that. So I was probably in the hospital a good 3 weeks in total. So about a week and a half of just sitting and waiting to get ready to do the bypass.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was okay with it. I wouldn't say that I was okay, but there wasn't nothing I could do about it. It wasn't gonna, there was nothing that was going to change. This was happening whether I embraced it or not. So guess what? Suck it up and embrace it. I don't have any choice in the matter.
I'm an old retired military guy. They used to tell you, man, embrace the suck. Look, if it's going to suck, I might as well enjoy it to the best of my ability.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, I got to go to rehab. I got to do this. I mean, it was a little different because at the time I was still living by myself. So I had to go stay with my father for 2 or 3 weeks as I was recovering from the bypass. And obviously, they split my chest open in the whole 9 yards. When they did that. My arm is my left arm. They couldn't take the artery out of my leg. They took it out of my arm. And so my left arm got infected. So I got a big old nasty scar up the side of my left arm. It looks like I'd taken a knife and just sliced it open one day, which is clearly not the case, but that's what it looks like.
Goodness gracious, brother.
I mean, it was different being back at home. I mean, again, I hadn't lived with my father, since I was a young man.
Yeah.
So, you're sitting in the shower, sitting on a stool, trying to wash yourself because you can't stand up for more than a couple of minutes,
Yeah. Brother, that's heavy, man. That's a heavy story and you know what's funny, man? I'm 46, brother. I just turned 46, and I can't imagine my life turning upside down in the matter of 3 or 4 months to the aspect and you said something that makes me think. Every time that it happened, it was a special occasion. It was an event that was supposed to be fun, it's memorable. But I guess it's still memorable, but I don't know if we want to remember it like that.
Not for all the right reasons.
Yeah, that's the truth.
I joke about it because Dana used to work my girlfriend Dana used to work in the medical field and is back again as a EMT training and all of that. And she always makes a joke that, she saved my life because she basically finally, put her foot down and talked to people that are smarter than I am. And we're like, you need to go see the doctor and figure out what's going on because I wouldn't have done that. And I always joke that I was healthy until I met her. So that's, our kind of our running gag. Like, you made all this happen to me, woman.
And you said her name is Dana?
Yes.
That's it. Shout out, Dana. Keep him alive. Keep him moving. Let's see what he's here for. Let's see the purpose Bob got in store for us. And you know what, man? I'm going to ask you this, and this is going to tie into what you was telling me. How was your circle, man? How are the people around you? You said that your friends got mad at you because you didn't tell them. So that means that you got people around you that love you. We'll just start there. Dana, she was like, look, we're done here. Go talk to these people. That's a circle of friends and your support system that I think is huge. How important was that for you inside of those moments, man? How important was that?
I think it was very important. I mean, obviously I had folks that came and visited with me and, everybody had all the well-wishers and all of that and were checking on me. And I think it kind of, threw everybody for a loop, especially, at that age, it's earlier than normal.
Yeah.
So I think it kind of made a few people, go maybe get themselves checked out. Like my brother immediately went, and my brother's got excellent cardiovascular health. Funniest thing is my brother, when it comes to that, excuse me, is healthy as a horse, because after my father and after me, he's like, okay, well, clearly genetics and it runs in the family, and he's fine. So I definitely, I had a lot of support, and that helped a lot. And then when I had some, later on, when I had some financial troubles, because if you don't work, you don't get paid. I had some folks that were able to step up and help me with that too.
That's solid. And you know what, man? Those are the kind of people that you need around you. And even in your darkest days, you can still lean on these people, and they're not judging you. All they're there to do is uplift you and keep you motivated and keep you positive, man.
And I was such an idiot about it, because we were supposed to come back from Dad's and then go over my buddy's house and just kind of hang out and BS and, have a couple drinks. Usual, nothing crazy, but, again, we were all going to get together. And I didn't let anybody know what was going on. I had gotten a couple of text messages like, hey, where are you at? And all of that. And I didn't respond, because at that point I was in the hospital. But they were generally mad, and it wasn't like, it was, you could have let us know. And I was like, well, I didn't want to ruin your night. And they're like, hello, dummy. You probably need to tell us what's going on, Lesson learned.
Hey, look, babe, please text them. Let them know that we're in the hospital. I'm okay, though. And you know what's funny? And I can picture this, because my family is like this. If I told my wife to text my family and let them know that I'm in the hospital, I would not stop getting emails and text messages. I would guarantee the people that are inside of 2 hours would probably come to the hospital. Like, so it's that kind of love that I'm hearing from you, man. Like, look, man, I don't care. Like, ruin the night. We care about you more than we care about the night. And those are the kind of people.
I just didn't want to get in everybody's way over it. Nothing will kill a good beer buzz, than finding out somebody's in the hospital.
Hey, man, give me another. Hey, Bob's in the hospital. Wait a minute. What? Yeah. let me ask you this. How, during that time, man, and throughout your life, man, and how did you manage the stress? How did you stay resilient, man? What did you do inside of you, changing the way that you live, changing the way that you eat, or whatever the doctor prescribed for you? But the most part is, how did you change your mindset to embrace the change that needed to happen?
Honestly, I've always had that attitude of, okay, I'm going to put my head down and do what I need to do, and I've done major changes before. I worked, in the lab as a chemist for 9 years. And then I went full time into real estate in 2007, when we were in the economic, downturn and all of that. And of course, I got told that was a terrible idea, and, all the stuff that goes with that sort of negativity. And that's never really bothered me. I just assumed and figured that if I worked hard, I would be okay, which is kind of what I did, and got to eventually get back on track. But there were certainly some dark moments and some dark nights to where the money wasn't coming in, because remember, when you work for yourself, you don't work, you don't get paid. And I did a terrible job of letting people know what was going on financially, letting my circle know. And I waited until I mean, at one point, this is no joke, I got my car repossessed. Now, I was able to get the car back, but I got repossessed because I didn't bother to tell my father what was going on and go, hey, I need some help here because I'm not where I need to be financially. And then number two, I almost got booted out of my apartment at the time, and I had somebody else step up to make sure I stayed in it, even though I had let all of my creditors know what was going on. And I had a history of excellent credit, making my payments on time, the whole 9 yards. They didn't want to hear about it, Nobody loves you when you broke.
Funny how that worked, huh?
It's amazing. It's amazing how Wells Fargo would give me chances over chances on stuff until I got myself in trouble. And then they're like, no, Mr. Thompson, we don't want to hear about it anymore. Where's our money?
Hey, they love you till they don't. Let me ask you this. So I was reading your info, man, and it says that you had to rebuild your business once that time came, right? You had to rebuild your business from the ground up, right? That way you can start getting back on your feet, getting financially squared away again. What did you do, and what was the heart attacks part of, like, the the business kind of falling apart a little bit. And what did you do to build it back up? Like, what started it and what did you do?
The first heart attack affected that because you're not making the phone calls that you need to make. You're not able to get out there and do what you normally do, which is my case. I get a lot of personal referrals and personal business, and I couldn't exactly respond to that in a timely fashion. And then after the bypass, again, I was, essentially out on my feet for probably a good 2 months because again, you've got, your chest is rehealing and all of that. You can't exactly be running up and down stairs and doing all of that.
No, sir.
So what I did was I made my phone calls. I started just calling people and reconnecting with people that I normally would have done, finding, old leads and stuff. What really interesting, which call it call it God, call it the man on top, whatever higher power you want to call it. It's literally like January. I woke up and all of a sudden business was waiting for me. It's a fascinating thing because you figure I had the bypass in October, November, December was a complete crap show, money wise, everything wise. Yeah. And then like January came around, it was like, oh, here you go, Bob. I know you've been waiting on this. And people started just coming out of the woodwork. Hey, we're ready to buy and sell. Can you help us with this? So you can start to see, especially in my business, you can see the mountain, what I call the mountain build. So you see the business start to get, okay, I got 2 closings next month. I got 3 coming after this. I got this going on. I'm helping these people. And I started to see that mountain start to climb back up again. And it's like anything else. It's amazing. And when you work hard, how lucky you get, right? So that's all I did is I just put my head down and, try to just get back to it and, get everybody paid back that I had to borrow from and deal with the circumstances, and the repercussions from that. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, man. 2018, January, was this weird? April 2023. How are you doing financially? How are you doing business? How are you doing with your heart attack, your heart, man? How are you?
For the most part, I'm okay. I'll be honest with you, I'm having some blood pressure issues. Yeah. They can't quite figure out what's wrong. Financially, I brought myself back up where I needed to be. Good. I still have some medical debt. I've got about 80 grand in medical debt that I'm still dealing with, which is better than what it was. I mean, at one point, it was probably $620,000 worth of medical debt at one point, which is ridiculous.
Ooh.
But a bill for, I want to say 360, and I just laughed. It's like, yeah, okay, I'll get right on that,
Hang on. You said $360 or $360,000?
They sent me a bill for $360,000. So between that and everything else, I had over $600,000 in medical debt. Now, again, Centera, basically let me get out of a lot of that. That's kind of what hospitals do. And I respect that. And I'm happy they did. But the flight, like the helicopter medical flight, that was $14,000. That's an expensive helicopter trip.
That is, you know what, man? Like, and I know I'm making light of it because it saves your life. But I'm gonna tell you what, man, $360,000. You send me a bill for $360 or $620,000, man, you got the wrong address.
Yeah, I mean, I laughed. I said, what else? I ain't paying this. I don't have it.
Man, good luck. But man, that's a great story, man. And you're right. And I think people don't realize that to where they're saving your life, man. But at the end of the day, it's almost like an indebtedness to them, right? Like, you saved me, and I'm really glad you saved me because I really want to be here. But goodness gracious, $620,000?
Yeah.
I ain't got no job because I'm sitting here with y'all, right?
Yeah, it ain't like I had, had worked a regular job and could take time off and medical and all that other good stuff. So, I mean, that was a struggle. And at one point, not to dwell on the bad, but when obviously it was Wells Fargo, and you can edit that out if you need to. I don't really care. I've had a checking account with them since I was 18, through the different companies that they bought. They canceled my credit card and my checking account in the same week because I spent everything. I was overcharged on my credit card. I had no money in my bank account. I told them I was in constant communication with them. Guys, this is where I was at. I'm trying to fix this. Give me some more time. I've got a good track record. I got stuff going on.
Yeah.
They didn't want to hear it and literally just shut me down and cut me off within the same week. No credit card, no checking account. Done, gone. Have a nice day.
What'd you do? Like I can't imagine, Bob. I can't imagine waking up and all of my financial stability is gone. Job is gone. Credit cards cut off. Bank account cut off. Like, what did you do to stay motivated, man? Like, because I'm telling you, a lesser man would have been in a worse situation. What did you do to stay motivated? You know what I mean? What did you do?
I just kept moving forward. I didn't have any choice in the matter. Again, bills have got to be paid sooner or later. I think the biggest thing I screwed up on, and I've said so, is that I should have reached out for help earlier than what I did.
Yeah.
And if I had reached out to my father and said, hey, this is what's going on and I need some assistance. Like I said, I had a friend of mine that came through with rent money and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Then I probably could have been in a better situation, and it may not have gotten that far, but I was trying to be prideful and handle my own business. We're taught to be grown men and handle our business, right, wrong, or otherwise. And sometimes that can, and I know that because I've done enough real estate to where I've seen folks go into foreclosure because they didn't bother to get some help, and they're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So intellectually I knew that, but I chose to do it anyway because I didn't want to be a burden on anybody. Yeah. And then once it happened, it was just like, okay, well, if you're going to cancel my credit card, you're not getting any money from me, anyway, because at this point I owe everybody and their grandmother money. You might as well just get in line. I got 600,000 plus in medical debt. The measly $3,000 that I owe to you for my credit card bill is way, way low on my scale. As long as I can keep my rental property that I'm living in and, keep my car, y'all do what you want to do, and I was able to keep that. And then it just became a process of, I would say I call it counting the little victories in terms of, okay, I've got a listing appointment this next week. Now there's no guarantee that house is going to either A, sell, or B, that they may change their mind and take it off the market. But I made my phone calls. I got an opportunity, and I've got to be able to pounce on that opportunity to the best of my ability. So that's a little victory. That gives me some positive energy and positive attitude. And I'm big into music, all types of music. And I like uplifting, powerful music. I'm not a big fan of, ooh, my life sucks, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear any of that. I want to hear, some good, powerful music that's going to get me fired up and get me out there to quote unquote kick some ass, That
is, brother. That is. All right, Mr. Bob, I've got a question for you. At the end of every show, I don't know if you researched me like I researched you, but if you did,
yes, sir.
If you did, you see that I used to play a game at the end of every show where I asked people questions that wasn't sent to them. So this season is no different, but I actually named it. We're gonna call it Pick One. You got one choice, so you have to make a decision. All right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
You have one thing to tell someone that been through your situation. What do you tell them? One thing.
I would say count the small victories.
Yeah.
Because small victories lead to big victories, and you can create and make your own victories. Yeah. So if you're supposed to do task A through Z and you only get 2 of them done, okay, well, that's a victory. That may not be a victory in anybody else's eyes, but it's a starting process, and you keep moving forward from there. That would be the biggest thing, is take the small victories and use them to empower you to keep moving forward.
Too easy. Next one. You got one song, all your music, one song that you keep. Everything else goes in the garbage. What are you keeping?
Good Lord. Do you really, the answer to that?
One.
Bring the Noise, Public Enemy. Because I know that song by heart, backwards and forwards. That and Mystery of Chess Boxing by Wu-Tang.
Okay, I see it.
Both of those songs give you a little piece of everything. So you got your flow, you got your upbeatness. Obviously with Wu-Tang, you've got, multiple people, rapping on the song. That would be my answer. It's upbeat and it runs, you know. If I got to pick one song, I'm not going to pick a slow song that's just going to make me sad.
I see you with your old school hip hop. I ain't going to judge you, Mr. Bob, but I'm judging you. Sir. I got you. Last one. I tell you, this is my moment. This is my moment. First thing comes to mind.
Just, I think, sitting in the hospital, and when they were explaining the rehab process, it was like, okay, let's get it done. Let's get it done.
Yeah.
I'm anxious let's get the surgery done. I never had any fear of dying. I never had any fear of that. It was like, I'm just ready to get the hell out of this hospital, man. Let's get this done. Get to dad, start walking, doing my breathing exercises, doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
So we can just keep on trucking. That was literally like I had accepted it and I was prepared for it and I was just ready to get started and let's move on.
That's it. Hey, Mr. Thompson, we done, brother.
Awesome. I hope everybody enjoys it when it comes out.
Hey guys, here's the deal. Bob said it, man. Sometimes you got to reach out early. Don't be so prideful that you end up hurting yourself by not letting people inside of your life, especially if they're already inside of your life. Also, count the little victories. It doesn't have to be a great win for it to be a win. A win is a win is a win. And at the end of the day, go get it!
Join the movement, we bringing people together, bringing positivity, making changes for the better. Cause it's all about growth, all about success. We wanna see you rise, wanna see you at your best. Ay, keep it